could stay like this, forever following you. Just don't get too far, and I'll be right where you are. You're a dream that I could finally see. I just want us to always be, to always be.
Hi there and welcome back to Plant Porn YouTube channel. So today I just wanted to show you a quick look around my garden, how things are coming on. We've had lots of rainy weather here in the UK at the moment, which is great for the plants, not so great for us. So it's been rainy but warm and very, very humid. So I've got lots of lush green growth on the plants. Like the tree ferns, they absolutely love this weather. Because they're constantly moist and they're not drying out very quickly. So I basically water these every single day, and I have Mind Your Own Business growing up at the moment. It looks beautiful. So this is Empress Rue Hosta, and this is the biggest you can get on the market at the moment. So this is actually 3 plants that I had that I put into one pot. I know that a lot of you keep asking me to put commentary on my video, so I thought I'd give it a try, let's see how this goes. And so far so good. So we're going to look around today and see all the summer colour, mostly roses, things like salvias. So what I basically do for colour in the garden is I scout the garden centres every month or every couple of weeks and just see what they've got, and then I'll try and introduce that into the garden. Because I've got quite a small garden, I have to be ruthless, and I have to sometimes take things out that might not be doing so well or might not be as pretty as they were last year. I'm also still learning about which plants work well in my garden. I planted about 50 lily bulbs in spring, and now I've had to take them all out because all the flower heads have been eaten by lily beetles. And I have to move a lot of plants around because I find that they outgrow the space really quickly. I also get really bored, and I've got quite a creative mind, so I tend to want to do new displays, so I'll redo a bit that I've already done. So basically the whole garden started when I bought a rose from the pound shop, and it got really big, and that sparked my interest in gardening really. So then I started to just buy plants and put them in. None of it was 100% I planned to do this is what I'm going to do with this space. It's all sort of just come together, and I've learned as I've gone on. I've got quite an oriental sort of theme going on in my garden, and I've never actually been to Asia, so but I just find that their style of gardening is really, really beautiful. If I had more space, I'd have things a lot more spaced out and it would be more simple, but I have too many plants that I like, so I have to cram them in. So for the undergrowth of the plants, it's mostly things like ferns and hostas that can really handle deep shade. I've got some campanula down there, which is just about to flower. Here I have bleeding hearts, and I had to just whack them back because they were just taken over. They got about nearly as high as the fence. It's really important to think about things like statues as well in your garden, because in winter they're going to be the main focal points of your garden. If you're just starting to do your garden, I'd definitely wait until winter to start it, because then you can amend all the soil and the frost will get at it, so it'll improve the soil if you have heavy clay. And also you can figure out where the evergreens are going to go first, and then you've got the main structure of your garden then. And then to add things like perennials and flowers and stuff, because otherwise you're just going to fill it with loads of plants and then realise in winter that it looks absolutely bare and there's nothing there. Move things around 100 times until you're happy with how it looks, because you've got to live with it. Doesn't matter if you see it in a magazine differently, as long as you're happy with it, that's the main thing. I really like seeing bees in my garden, so I've added lots of bee friendly perennials. Things like salvias are really good for the bees. These are the cannas that I had last year that I overwintered in my shed, and they're now coming back. One of them's got like a half variegated leaf, which is just so pretty. I just hope there's enough time for it to flower before the first frost. I try to add things like the Japanese forest grass into little corners where there's not a lot of space for things to grow and it gets quite shady. And here's a little hosta growing underneath another hosta, so proof that they are so versatile. I absolutely love this part of my garden, my little moss path. The moss is Irish moss, I think, and it's just starting to fill in, so I can't wait for that to spread more and create a nice little Japanese themed path. To me, I just find little moss paths so personal and magical. Brings me back to my childhood. And that's what your garden should be about. Things that are personal to you and things that make you happy, because you're the one that's got to spend time there, and it really should take you to your perfect destination. I've recently added lots of roses to the garden, and I find that they add a lot of summer colour and they smell really great, which is very sensory. And things like lavender don't necessarily scream tropical, but I think they work. I feel like they attract bees, they add a bit of colour and scent, and it's really just about what you like. Don't try and fit into any theme, just go with whatever you really want to see in your garden. And for me, that's nature, that's insects and birds, and I really want to feel like I'm involved and I'm helping them, I'm a part of it, you know, and that's what gardening is for me. 2 years ago, if someone had said to me you'll be into gardening, you'll sit and spend half an hour just watching bees fly around plants, I'd probably think you're mental. But it's so good for your mental health, and it really does help you. And to be honest, it's the best thing that I've ever done with my life, was get into gardening. If I didn't have gardening now, I'd be a mess. I'd be an absolute mess, because it's just helped me tons with my mental health. I'm so calm and relaxed now, and I know that I've got my garden to go back to if I'm having a really bad day. Plants just really amaze me, how incredible it is, and how beautiful they are. To have something living and growing and flowering, and the colours and the textures, and it's just pure art. It really is. Nature's it's absolutely amazing, isn't it? Guys, I am so happy that my bananas survived through the winter. with no protection whatsoever, and the leaves this year are just as big as they were for winter. This is Miscanthus zebrinus, which is commonly known as zebra grass, and it is just stunning. And I managed to get this really huge plant for £5 from Facebook Marketplace. So it's worth noting that not all plants have to cost you a fortune, but we did have to spend an hour digging it out, so pros and cons. This part of my garden I'm now doing up, so I'm going to have a raised decking area. I'm going to try anyway, because I've never done anything like that before, but the sun comes down here in the evening, so I'd really like to spend more time down there. I've already planted up with some hardy ginger and Brunnera Drax Frost, also some roses and bamboo, which is in a pot. This here is the rose that started it all, the 99p rose. It hasn't got that many flowers on it this year because I haven't pruned it, so in spring I'm going to give it a hard prune so we get lots and lots more flowers. And I love my maple walkway. I'm sorry about the lighting here, but it was quite sunny, so it's a bit harsh. But I just love this little area, it's so pretty. Such a good feel, but the only bad thing is it gets tons of mosquitoes down there, so I don't actually want to walk down there anymore. But the plants I've chosen just love it here. I've added the stones in so it coincides with the rest of the garden, my nice little moss path. I've added a few mirrors around the garden too to bounce some light around, and I've got lots of pots. I've recently got into astilbes because the bees were just flocking on these when I saw them in the garden centre, so I had to get them. At the moment they're covered with loads of little thunderbugs. These little guys might be annoying to us, but they're really essential for pollinating plants in the summertime. So they won't damage your plant at all they're doing is pollinating. I'm really loving how this seating area looks at the moment because my peony has just flowered. And I've added lots of things like roses and catmint, agapanthus too, and a David Austin rambling rose called Goldfinch. This one's going to climb up my pergola and look stunning. And here's the peony that I was talking about. It's called Bowl of Beauty, and it smells just like lemon sherbet. It's absolutely stunning as well. So pretty. Like, this is my first year growing peonies, so I'm really amazed that it's flowered. In this part of the garden it's really shady, so it's important to sort of like know your lighting and go with the plants that will do well in them areas. If you're wondering why it looks really bare behind my hammock at the moment, it's because I've decided to plant 3 kinds of David Austin climbing roses there. Will eventually tower across the fence and look absolutely stunning with colour, pinks and yellows.
could stay like this, forever following you. Just don't get too far, and I'll be right where you are. You're a dream that I could finally see. I just want us to always be, to always be.
I really hope you've all learnt something and liked my commentary video. So it's my first one, and now that I know how to do it, I'll make many more for you, I promise. If you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, it really does help me out. And like and comment below with any questions, and I will be sure to answer them in the comments and in my next videos. So thanks for your support, guys, I really appreciate it. Love you all, bye!